Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Aquarius moon signs, or if you have significant Aquarius placements in your chart and are needing a feminine energy to work with or balance within yourself, then this reading is for you. So let's get started here, Aquarius. So we have some really lovely energy at the bottom of the deck. So first of all, we have the Ten of Materials, the Chariot, and the Knight of Voices. So if we just start off with these two cards here, Aquarius, I'm seeing you as being sort of like this larger energy in the middle. That's kind of how I'm seeing your energy today. And there's energies here in your space. It kind of feels like you're trying to move out of or move forward from a situation that is perhaps either you've like outgrown it, or it's like something that you're needing to leave behind in order to move forward for you. But it's kind of looking like there's resistance to this movement, right? It's kind of like either circumstances outside of your control are trying to pull you back into an energy that you're leaving behind. So that's sort of how I'm seeing this. But with the Knight of Voices here, I feel like this is kind of like an arrival of news or some sort of like saving grace that kind of helps move you out of this energy is kind of how I'm seeing this for the overall context. And then for this deck, we have the Healer and the Shaman, which I feel like is something that you're doing. It's like you're healing something about yourself. So perhaps you're exiting out of some sort of difficult experience or transition. And then with the Flame here, it's like you have a direction forward or like new inspiration or something that you're moving towards. That's how I'm seeing this combination of cards. So if we start off here, it's really interesting because we have your energy here as being the comic, which I'm seeing is this being like you have a perspective of like trying to see a difficult situation with humor is kind of how I'm seeing this. It also talks about like with the comic, this talks to me about like some like seeing something from the outside, right? If you think about like a court jester, they're not part of the inner court or the royalty, but they have an outsider's perspective on what's going on inside is kind of how it's looking to me. And what that perspective is talking about is the storm energy, which I will come back to. I feel like this is not your energy, but it may be having sort of like this impact of like, for the time being, there are circumstances outside of your control where it's kind of like you just got to wait out the storm of whatever's happening, so I'll come back to that. But anyway, so for you, Aquarius, we're starting off here with the Death card. In the last, I did a Sagittarius season reading with all the signs. So if you haven't watched that, I would take a look at that because the Death card started off a couple of different readings, meaning I feel like there's just like a really big shift happening in terms of breaking free of old patterns or like things that are not for us, moving out of stagnation. That's how I'm seeing this energy. And I feel like it's also talking about like breaking free, right? There's this kind of energy of like you're breaking free of something. And then you have here the Muse of Materials, the Muse of Materials, and the Six of Voices, which is all, so especially the Six of Voices card, this talks to me about like moving very swiftly and very easily over any potential obstacles to the next part of your journey, whatever that is for you, Aquarius. It's really interesting though, this card here, it was reminding me of this story of like the three billy goats gruff, where it's like the billy goats are trying to pass this bridge into a land where there's more abundance. And as they're crossing, there's a troll here that like gets in their way, right? And tries to ask them for a toll, or like tries to like consume them, like eat them. So I'm seeing this as being sort of like it's coming through as like somebody who is trying to keep you from crossing some sort of bridge. Because their energy is coming out with the storm. So I'm seeing it like this. They're coming out here with the woman, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman in terms of their gender. It just is, to me, talking about like someone with whose feminine energies are misaligned in some way. They're so it could be somebody who perhaps you once went to for perhaps like nurturing, or like somebody who, whatever this is for you, it's like they presented, the way that you interacted with them was on sort of like your feminine energies, especially because this is a moon reading as well. And how I'm seeing it is that because the moon card comes out underneath this, so this is just emphasizing to me again that it's like a feminine energy. Doesn't have to be like gender-wise feminine, but it's feeling like, because this one talks to me about like not being able to see clearly. So it could be that the way that it feels kind of like a past person, so somebody that you know, where it's like they're trying to interfere in you crossing a bridge. That's what this is looking to me like. They're trying to interfere with you crossing into some other land or new energy or whatever that is. Because then the next cards that are coming out to explain like why this might be happening. So you have here the Eros card, which is talking about passion, just generally. If you want to... But it's coming through today more as being like creative energy, right? Like because the overall context of your reading today is the flame, right? Which is talking about, to me, this is talking to me about like creative projects, like things that inspire you, that kind of thing. So sacral chakra related for sure. I feel like what's interesting though is that the cards that are coming out underneath this is the fly and the scales, which says a period of ill health and depression, and the scales say keep your life in balance. So for these two to be coming out underneath this combination of cards, it's like, so it's with this fly card, this relationship might be somebody that you met, or somebody that you met perhaps when you were in a period of ill health, right? So it could be something like a teacher or a friend or a mentor, or somebody who perhaps was trying to help you while you were feeling ill or something like that, which is why it's kind of coming in with a mother energy, but it doesn't have to be that. But it's kind of like, it's like perhaps Aquarius, you may be in this energy of like healing yourself, right? With the healer and the shaman, right? Like healing this perhaps sacral chakra energy, or it doesn't have to be that. It's just like something that inspires you or motivates you or whatever. You may be in the process of healing that. And so in this healing, you may be seeing something about like seeing some sort of like strange perspective about the truth about this situation, which is kind of perhaps disturbing, or Just like almost ridiculous is kind of how it's coming through. It's almost ridiculous. But it is serious. It's kind of giving this vibe, Aquarius, especially with the card here of like the ill health and the scales. Keep your life in balance. There's definitely some sort of imbalance here, in terms of like the ill health, depression kind of energy. So it's kind of feeling to me like, imagine if you like went to go seek therapy or like go to a therapist, for example. I don't think that this is that kind of relationship. Like, I don't think it's an actual therapist or a professional of some sort, but it feels like that's perhaps what you sought out some sort of relationship while you were in a period of ill health, for example. But then as you start to get better or as you start to heal, it's kind of like you started to move away from the therapist and say, I don't need this assistance anymore. Like, thank you for your assistance. I'm going to now start like taking care of myself or taking care of like my own mental health, like that kind of thing. Is you start moving away from this individual. But it's almost like this individual is now standing in front of you or blocking your way and saying, no, you're not allowed to leave because I'm deeming you as being somebody who needs my assistance. Like, they're refusing to let you move on from this dynamic because they are saying that you are still... I don't know. I'm trying to convey the wrongness of what it is that they're trying to do to you, because it's kind of like you're healing and you're growing and you're trying to move on, but this one is getting in your way and saying that you're not ready to move on, or like you need to stay in this past hurt, ill health energy because they're your quote-unquote therapist and they're trying to take care of you. That's really unhealthy. It's coming through as being sort of like this overbearing mother kind of energy where it's like they refuse to let you grow because it would threaten their own existence or their own identity or something like that. I hope that makes sense. So anyways, I feel like you've already walked away from this, though. That's the thing. It's like you're on the bridge, you're moving on, and it's kind of like this one won't let you go. That's how it's feeling to me. So the challenge for you, Aquarius, is just kind of this energy, because the next cards you have here are the Muse of Inspiration, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. Where it's kind of feeling to me like with the Muse of Inspirations, this is something that like is more of a mental challenge for you, I guess, like something to work on in terms of how you shift your perspective, because it could be that because this one here is upset or because their energy is coming out with the storm, it feels like perhaps they are feeling the loss of your energy more than you are, is kind of how it's feeling to me. Like they're feeling more of the loss of this dynamic, whereas like you're moving on is how it's feeling to me. And it's kind of like, but because they're still somehow energetically tied to you, right? They're still, their energy, even though you're moving on, you've moved past it, it's still present. There may be this sort of like flip-flopping between like feeling really productive, feeling like you're focused on your goals and all that, and then having this energy where it's like your vision is blocked, or like you can't see the next step forward, or like feeling confused or stuck, this is the energy of ill health, right? Like where it's like you feel like you can't move on to the next thing. And it feels like that's coming from this energy of like somebody who's trying to keep you small or contained so that you can't move forward, right? It's kind of like, so the solution, I guess, would be to just focus on your work. Like, focus on what it is that you're doing, taking things one step at a time, being really patient, because you are on the bridge is what this is feeling like. You are moving forward, right? With this bridge energy. And it's just like to keep focused on your work. What's coming out next is really lovely. So you have here the Starborn, which talks about like something that is destined for you. I feel like part of this storm energy might actually be awakening some aspect of yourself that you perhaps were not connecting with, or that like this was kind of like the storm from this individual may actually be benefiting you by breaking you out of your shell a little bit. It's kind of feeling to me like I know this is so cheesy, but almost like to be grateful for the storm, to appreciate it. Appreciate that this person is challenging you in a way, because that challenge is helping you to grow. Because you have here the table, which says hard work ahead, right? And then the page of inspiration, the 3 of inspiration, and the Fool, right? So it's kind of like the more you focus on doing your work, the more that you move forward and continue to nurture this flame and to heal yourself. The more you do that, the more inspiration comes in. It's like no matter how hard they try, they're not going to be able to stop this expansion at all. They're not going to keep you from moving forward on the bridge, right? Like, you are moving forward. That has nothing to do with their energy at all. So it's like, keep working, keep going. You're so close is kind of how it's feeling to me. You're really, really close. And I feel like this hard work that you're doing is just to like keep focused, right? Like, with this page of inspiration, especially, like, you can see how much lighter the energy is now. Here, it's like so much new beginning, so much creativity. It could be that this relationship as well, especially if there was a period of time where you were feeling uninspired or like not feeling able to motivate yourself to do something difficult, like that kind of thing. It could be because this individual was like somehow consuming it, or like taking it for themselves, or using your energy in a way to benefit them. And so that's why they're in a storm energy now, because it's like they're missing that from you, is kind of how that's feeling. So Aquarius, just one final note to end this reading off, because we have here the Mentor card coming out, and underneath that we have the Cobweb and the Lobster, which says protected from negative forces beyond your control and a financial pinch. But I feel like this is actually the energy that's trying to control you, right? Which is why I was kind of getting the metaphor of like a therapist or like a teacher, like somebody that you went to seek assistance for, like from when you were in a period of ill health, right? So it's like this person served as a teacher, or like perhaps you actually did learn stuff from them, but it's kind of coming through, especially with the Cobweb, is that it feels like to me, Aquarius, right? It's kind of like for this energy, the more that you grow, the more that this energy is going to try and contain you, is kind of how it's looking to me. That's going to be sort of the effort, or they're going to try and put themselves sort of in a position where it's like they're above you, right? Where it's like they know more than you, or that they I hope you understand what I'm getting at. Putting themselves above you in some way. And how it's coming through to me is kind of like, once you reach your goal, or once you find the success, it's coming through with this story of like, you know how when people get famous, or like when people like win the lottery, for example, or like come into some sort of success in their life, it's like people from the past start showing up. I'm seeing that as the Queen of Emotions, like people that like you knew from when you were a child, or like estranged family members or like that kind of vibe, where it's like suddenly because you're famous and in the spotlight, or you have a lot of resources or success or fame or whatever, it's like all of these strangers start coming in. It's feeling like this one is kind of coming in as trying to like take credit for your success. Like, oh, I taught them everything that they know. They were my student, that kind of thing. Do you know what I'm getting at? Like, it's that kind of vibe, like trying to take credit for your success. Like, I taught them how to do that, or like that kind of thing. And the response that I would have to that, Aquarius, is like, if there's somebody like a teacher or something that's trying to take credit for your success in a way that feels very like they're leeching, or they're like, do you know what I mean? Like trying to take from you. I would say that if they are a teacher and a mentor, if they're trying to take credit for your success, then they must also take responsibility for all the students that they did not help, right? All the people that they failed, all the people who did not receive success from their mentorship, they have to take responsibility for all of those people as well. If they're going to take credit for your success, they also have to take credit for all the failures as well. So that's sort of the response I would have to that, Aquarius, where it's like they're going to see you succeed is what this is coming through with the awakening. This I'm seeing as being like you here, Aquarius, is the Emperor and the Two of Materials. It's like you here with the strong foundation, because that's this sort of diamond, right? It's like you created something from your own strength. And this one's going to see that and either like try and take credit for it, or like trying to get back into your life in a way where it's like they're saying, oh, I helped them achieve this. They wouldn't have been able to do this without me, kind of energy. Where it's like, okay, well, what about all the people that you failed? All the people that didn't succeed because you were mentoring them. You're very close to achieving your goal, Aquarius. You're almost there. Keep going. If there's somebody who's trying to interfere in your business, just almost like keep focused on what it is that you're working on, because nothing is going to be able to stop this expansion. So I'm going to leave it there, Aquarius. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.